Good evening, Tallahassee. I'm meteorologist Brandon Lashwick with you tonight on FSU weather on Tuesday. And take a look at Doak Campbell Stadium. Rain is coming through our area right now. We have a line of severe storms moving through the Big Bend area. So Doak Campbell is looking pretty wet right now, but 91 degrees for our temperature and our south winds at 13 miles an hour. And our temperatures across the area, we see a cool down in the northern counties and a little bit warmer where the rain has not reached quite yet. And here's that radar. A lot of reports of strong winds and trees down as those storms work their way to the southwest. Well, I'll cover that in more depth in our first local segment. But today on FSU Weather, we'll be talking about the heat wave that is still dominating the U.S. We have, the severe weather for Tallahassee and the surrounding areas. And we'll be discussing some of the fires out in the southwest with some fire warnings. All that and more on FSU Weather. And welcome back into that live look at Doak Campbell Stadium. A lot of rain moving through the area right now, sitting at 91 degrees. And throughout most of the region, we can see those temperatures around the same. But today, our high temperature was 96 degrees, so it's 4 shy of 100. It's only going to get hotter throughout the rest of the week. But today, our low was only a mid-75, just a little bit before sunrise. And again, throughout the region, temperatures dropped down where that rain has cooled the atmosphere, cooler to the north and east. And where the rain hasn't fallen yet, it is still quite hot in the upper 80s and lower 90s. And we see the dew points right now, pretty moist atmosphere as these storms work their way through, 78 in Tallahassee and a little bit more 79 over in Apalachicola. And for today's heat index, it was quite hot again into the triple digits. So 106 in Tallahassee, a little bit less right now. Again, that rain has moved through, but 75 in Thomasville. They were around the same as we were a little bit earlier and near the triple digits. But for today, right now, SPC has outlined a slight risk of severe weather for our area, ranging from the southern Georgia counties and the northern Florida counties, including Leon and Jefferson and Gadsden, and just thunderstorms as a little bit as they weaken toward the coast. So let's take a look at the active alerts. Right now, we are under a severe thunderstorm warning for Tallahassee and Leon County, a severe thunderstorm watch a little bit further to go, and that orange color again is an excessive heat advisory, as we do have dangerous levels of heat for today and tomorrow as well. But these storms will be pushing toward the south, so let's take a look at our radar right now. We did have some reports of 54 mile per hour gust recorded earlier in Bainbridge. As you can see, those storm reports come in, and with these storms is a lot of lightning. Lightning is associated with these storms as well, and our main threat for severe right now is going to be those wind gusts, with 40, 50 mile per hour wind gusts are possible as these storms work their way through the tri-state area. But for the overnight hours, temperatures will dip down a little bit into the mid-70s throughout the region, 75 Tally, 77 in St. Mark's, and around the same 74 over in Thomasville. But for tomorrow morning, if you'd like to go for a walk in the morning, do that early. It's 74 degrees at 7 a.m. and it's going to heat up rather quickly at 11 a.m. for 89 degrees. And we do have a chance of storms for tomorrow again, but into the overnight hours, these storms right now will die out as we lose that daytime heating. But come into tomorrow, we'll have another round of severe weather in store for us as we are again under a slight risk. That is 2 out of 5 on the scale for severe weather given from the SPC Center. And here is that system that will be moving its way through again tomorrow. But for tomorrow's temperatures, again, high 90s is what we're looking at. And throughout the rest of the week, we see stormy conditions for tomorrow as well as possibly Thursday with some scattered showers. And that heat is going to be here for the rest of the week and into the weekend. So let's take a look around the southeast right now. Atlanta, Georgia had those storms pass through a little bit earlier, sitting at 90 degrees. And Clemson right now is 88 degrees. Bowling Green's not coming in, but they're at 95 degrees, and New Orleans at 93 with under some cloudy skies. And for the temperatures, we see mid-80s to upper 80s to lower 90s across the region. That has been the story this past week, and it will be the story for the rest of the week and into the weekend, really. And for the dew points, much of the same around the area, 78 Tallahassee, 73 in Jacksonville, and 65 over up there in Nashville. And for today's current heat index, I mean, throughout most of the region, so you see the orange and the yellow spots, those places have received some rain, so they're getting a little cool off from that excessive heat. But places that have not seen rain today, like Shreveport, Little Rock, 101 and 105, so pretty high heat indices, so make sure you stay hydrated and stay inside if you can. But we'll take a look at the southeast radar. Here is that system of storms that is moving its way down through the North Florida region. So this is what we call a mesoscale convective system, a complex of thunderstorms that can persist into 2, 3, 4 hours long and move across large distances. And they can produce a lot of strong winds and even possible hail. And here, as you can really see that system on water vapor as it moves toward the southwest. So that one has a lot of severe winds. And here are the winds on the surface, helping aid with that sea breeze a little bit by the coast, and some mild winds at around 10 miles an hour for most places. But into the overnight hours, we see temperatures drop into the upper 70s as well as in the lower 80s as well as possible. But for Jacksonville, we see hot conditions as well, not too high on the rain chances, looking at 20% throughout Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, but temperatures will reach those 90-degree mark for sure. And tomorrow across the region, temperatures will be right back up into the high 90s, possibly reaching even triple digits, as 100 right now is forecasted for Nashville. So it's definitely going to be very hot outside tomorrow, so stay indoors if you can. Go out only before around sunrise, and go out after sunset. Stay hydrated, and all that good stuff. So now I'm going to go ahead and pass it over to Wanique. She'll give you a nice look at the national and what's going on.
Yeah, Brandon, so for the national, I have good news and I have bad news. That good news is that we have that pronounced high pressure system and ridge that's really keeping any tropical disturbances at bay. However, the bad news is that it is still very, very hot across the U.S. So let's get into it. Right now in Tallahassee, we're sitting at 81 degrees, and you can see it's very stormy, and I'm not sure if you can hear that right now on our mics, but it's storming, and we are in a thunderstorm warning for Tallahassee right now. So that has helped to cool us down a little bit. But however, our friends in the central of the U.S. Aren't really seeing that luck or get as lucky as we are with that rain, because it is a triple digit 100 degrees right now in San Antonio, 96 in Dallas. So it's still very, very hot. Now let's look at our heat index. Right now, this heat index is basically showing us what that temperature really feels like. So you can see in those triple digits in Atlanta, it's feeling like 100 degrees. It's extremely hot, especially for this time of year. I know it is summer, but it is record-breaking temperatures that we're seeing this year. Now, for our national surface chart, I want to show you this low pressure system that we have right here, pushing that cold front across the East Coast. So we're going to see that, continue to see that cooler, drier air in this area here. But you can see in the southeast, we have that high pressure system that's really lingering over us, causing that really, really hot weather. Now for our water vapor, really cool. You can see right now this low kind of riding through close by Denver, and that's where that cold front is. But you can also see that ridge riding over towards the East Coast, and that's really aiding in that warm temperatures that we're seeing right now. Now, for our storm outlook, we're going to look at Tallahassee first, because as I mentioned, we are currently in a thunderstorm warning, and we are seeing a slight risk in Tallahassee. And you can see in this area right here, we also have some non-severe weather, but in Tallahassee right now, we're keeping an eye on that because we are going to see some storms in the next couple of hours. Now, we're going to look at our north central U.S. radar. And what I want to show you here is that we do have some scattered storms popping up throughout the nation in that area, but you can see that we have some active watches and warnings right now towards that International Falls area, and that's going to persist until tonight. Now for our southeast radar, again, we are seeing lots of active showers. Those showers are marching in right now to Tallahassee, and we are seeing watches and warnings. So that pink area right there, those are those watches that we're seeing coming towards Tallahassee. And that orange area right here across the Big Bend, we're seeing thunderstorm warnings. Now for our storm outlook for our day 2, that is tomorrow, we're going to continue to see that slight risk in Tallahassee, and we're going to see pretty mild conditions across the southeast. Now the exception for that weather is towards that Chicago area. You see that they are in for some enhanced risk for storms right now. Now as we move forward to Thursday for our day 3 outlook, it's going to mellow out a little bit and we won't see too much severe weather on that day. Now for our active weather alerts, let's look at this. So the big story here today is that we have lots of active weather and fire warnings across New Mexico and Arizona. So right here you can see that we have those watches and warnings in this area, and we are also seeing very poor quality in Louisiana. So we're going to keep an eye on those active alerts, and because of that heat, we're seeing the temperatures and that drought really persisting throughout the U.S. Now we're going to continue to go and take a look at our upper atmosphere map, and you can see that ridge really riding through in that jet stream and that high pressure system, alluding to those hot conditions. Now we're going to see that ridge actually move westward and actually really cause some hot and humid and really hot conditions towards the west as we go through the week. Now for overnight forecast, we're seeing 75 in Tallahassee, 78 in New Orleans, so we are cooling down, thankfully, and for tomorrow we're going to see those temperatures again in the 90s, 98 in Tallahassee, so we're going to see lots and lots of active weather and hot temperatures moving forward. So we're going to talk about these active alerts really quickly, lots of fire weather, and you can see it's because it's super dry in this area. So Texas and New Mexico, very dry, so that is going to cause lots and lots of possible fires or prescribed fires in that area, and you can see that dew point really tells that story because those dew points are so different and far apart from those temperatures. Now, I'm going to quickly zoom through. We have lots of fire weather going through right now in the U.S., and we have lots and lots of prescribed fires that have not been contained. So we're going to see those through New Mexico and throughout that area right now until those are contained. And unfortunately for that rainfall, we're seeing rainfall in the southeast, but that's not where we want it to be, which is in that west coast area. For our heat index, again, very hot, 107 in Tallahassee. So we're going to see that heat persist. Now for a live look at Doak, look how rainy it is right now, and thankfully we are going to see some relief in Tallahassee. But Brandon, what do you think about that local and what's going on in the next couple of days?
Yes, for sure. We do have a chance of severe storms right now, obviously, and for tomorrow. So if we take a look at Doak Campbell Stadium with this current rain that is moving through, it has dropped that temperature, as you see, 78. It was like, wasn't it, 90 something when we first started the show? So that rain has dropped that temperature quite drastically. And right now we can see where that temperature has dropped, all those yellows are pushing their way down toward the south where that rain is tracking. And here's the radar again. So still have those severe thunderstorm warnings, how they have stretched again to our Wakulla counties, as well into our eastern and western counties. So this is a lot of severe winds possible, as you can see on these icons. A lot of damaged branches and tree limbs have fallen, have been reported so far. As we go into the next 24 hours, those storms will die off again, like I said earlier, as we lose that daytime heating. But it will again kick off tomorrow evening with our next batch of storms from the northeast that is riding that ridge down toward the southwest. And for tonight, I would say stay indoors for sure because these storms are out right now and they will linger until the overnight hours, until possibly 9 and 10 o'clock is when it will probably clear up mostly. So stay indoors for tonight, have your dinner on the couch, watch some TV, and avoid going out because we do have a lot of lightning and a lot of rain moving through the area right now. But for the next week, we see our chance of storms will increase again for tomorrow as for Wednesday, and they'll die down as we go into the weekend, and we will heat up as well. But if you like us on Twitter at twitter.com/FSU weather, as well as on Facebook at facebook.com/FSU weather. I hope you're watching right now on YouTube, and that's youtube.com/FSU weather. And please like us on Instagram at FSU weather. So I'll go ahead and give you one last look at the 7-day forecast. Like I said, that heat ridge is not going anywhere for the rest of this week. Highs in the upper 90s, almost reaching 100 on Friday and Saturday and even Thursday. So please stay safe out there. I'm meteorologist Brandon Lashwick with you. Have a great, safe evening.